Welcome to Artist Books Unshelved. Handwritten text has a special power to connect us to the person behind the words. We Are All Speaking at the Same Time by Lukaza Branfman-Verissimo and Anything Helps by Laura Russell are two examples of how just a few words in a person's hand can convey the energy and humanity of their stories. Lukaza Branfman-Verissimo is an artist, activist, educator, and curator. Their colorful and dynamic artworks often use text that challenges you to understand personal stories and actions. Published by Endless Editions, this book's cover overwhelms with words that rush into each other. I have to slow down to pull out the title, We Are All Speaking at the Same Time. Branfman-Verissimo often begins new work by making lists. In these pages is a collection of sayings, chants, ideas, and stories. The text on each page is printed from simple black and white drawings. Some of these texts are well-known and recognizable. Others read more like personal notes to Branfman-Verissimo and to the BIPOC, queer, and trans communities centered in their work. Branfman-Verissimo told me that this book is a reflection of their community, with many loved ones mentioned in the pages. I may not understand every reference, but the drawn letters make it feel accessible, allowing me to imagine where our stories overlap. Sometimes the line breaks make the words hard to read. I am not frustrated by this, though. Instead, I am reminded to slow down and really feel the impact of these words. Branfman-Verissimo told me that while making this book, they were interested in breaking down the hierarchy of how a book should be read or interacted with. The design of the book moves toward this. With no page numbers and equal visual weight given to each declaration, it is left to the reader to decide whether each page stands alone or is part of a narrative sequence. Ultimately, I think it is both. I read this book as a collection of actions, big and small. Sometimes I think of them as individual signs at a rally or protest. But it is also a story of our moment in history. Each page bursts with energy that directly confronts us. The last few pages are particularly strong. They compel me to continue seeking actions that will lift Black, Indigenous, queer, and trans lives. I close the book and find the title and front cover image again, although now the black and white are reversed. The title, We Are All Speaking at the Same Time, has even greater urgency for me now. With everyone talking over each other, things are getting lost. The words and ideas in this book are some of the most important for me to remember. Laura Russell is a photographer and book artist whose work frequently focuses on stories held within the urban landscape. Anything Helps is sewn into a vintage wallet. Each page features a different sign. All around her home city of Portland, Oregon, Russell had noticed so many homeless individuals with signs asking for help. She would stop to engage with the person and learn a little bit about their story. Then she would purchase the sign for $5. Russell told me that though she had to be somewhat particular about which signs she bought, she always stopped for someone who looked desperately in need. A graphic designer for 15 years, Russell was drawn to signs that had a clever message or used interesting lettering, color, or design. Russell also commissioned a few signs. She met Kate after noticing that her sign offered work as a graphic artist. This particularly struck Russell because of her own background in the industry. She told me she wondered, what is that stroke of good or bad luck that separates two creative souls, one living on the edge and one living in comfort? One of the signs Russell commissioned from Kate, shortly before the Thanksgiving holiday, is the featured pop-out in the center of the book. The loose cards in the wallet pockets offer background information about this book. Russell explains her interest and hopes for the project, and shares the stories of some of the individuals she met and purchased signs from. Throughout the book, Russell humanizes the individuals through their signs. The words and styles of each sign offer a glimpse of the unique people and their stories. The number of times we see some variation of the words "anything helps" also emphasizes how valuable it is that each of us do what we can to help the vulnerable in our communities. We are all speaking at the same time, and anything helps are mirrors held up to society. Branfman-Verissimo and Russell have both harnessed the power of drawn words to tell unique stories. They invite us to find ourselves within them too.